I'm not a business person or an entrepreneur. I'm not even really a business reporter. But I do understand the bottom line and how you have to have a profit. It looks like you have to subsidize a lot of Uber activities in order to let it happen. You're not turning a profit. And your recent IPO, which started very high, somewhere around 120, went down to half that value. How sustainable is the model?
We think the model is absolutely sustainable. Now, we're in the early stages of building this model. The business, for example, is still growing 30+% on a global basis. And anytime you have a business that has the kind of market size of trillions of dollars in terms of transportation and food and local commerce, it makes sense for a company to invest. The goal for us to go public was to raise significant capital, and now we have all the capital we need to go from a period of investment to a period of profitability. But that's absolutely going to take time.
This Thursday, the acting DNI will appear before the House Intelligence Committee. At that time, he must turn over the whistleblower's full complaint to the committee. He will have to choose whether to break the law or honor his responsibility to the Constitution. On the final day of the Constitutional Convention in 1787, when our Constitution was adopted, Americans gathered on the steps of Independence Hall to await the news of the government our founders had crafted. They asked Benjamin Franklin, "What do we have, a republic or a monarchy?" Franklin replied, "A republic if you can keep it." Our responsibility is to keep it. Our republic endures because of the wisdom of our Constitution, enshrined in 3 co-equal branches of government serving as checks and balances on each other. The actions taken to date by the President have seriously violated the Constitution, especially when the President says, Article 2 says I can do whatever I want. For the past several months, we have been investigating in our committees and litigating in the courts, so the House can gather all the relevant facts and consider whether to exercise its full Article 1 powers, including a constitutional power of the utmost gravity, approval of articles of impeachment. And this week, the President has admitted to asking the President of Ukraine to take actions which would benefit him politically. The actions of the Trump presidency revealed the dishonorable fact of the President's betrayal of his oath of office, betrayal of our national security, and betrayal of the integrity of our elections. Therefore, today, I'm announcing the House of Representatives moving forward with an official impeachment inquiry. I'm directing our 6 committees to proceed with their investigations under that umbrella of impeachment inquiry. The President must be held accountable. No one is above the law. Getting back to our founders, in the darkest days of the American Revolution, Thomas Paine wrote, "The times have found us. The times found them to fight for and establish our democracy. The times have found us today, not to place ourselves in the same category of greatness as our founders, but to place us in the urgency of protecting and defending our Constitution from all enemies, foreign and domestic." In the words of Ben Franklin, to keep our republic.
Desperate search and rescue operation underway off the coast of southern Japan after 2 U.S. Marine aircraft reportedly collided in midair. CNN's Ivan Watson has the latest for us live from Hong Kong. Ivan, good morning.
Good morning, Dave. It's been about 14 hours since these 2 U.S. Marine aircraft collided out over the Pacific Ocean. It was a U.S. KC-130 Hercules, which is kind of like a flying tanker plane that can do refueling operations in the air, and an FA-18 Hornet. So at this time, we still don't know the cause of the crash, but we do know that the U.S. military is working alongside the Japanese self-defense forces, trying to find 5 Marines still missing after this collision in the air. 2 Marines have been rescued thus far. One has already been transported back to the Japanese mainland for treatment, and I'm told by a Marine spokesperson that Marine is in fair condition. The other rescued individual is still being transferred, and we don't have an update on their details at this time. The rescue effort is large. The Japanese self-defense forces, they've moved some 3 ships out to this area, roughly 200 miles off the Japanese coast. They have some 15 aircraft. The U.S. Navy's 7th Fleet has also mobilized a reconnaissance plane out to search for these missing Marines. But again, it's been about 14 hours since the planes collided. It happened at about 2 a.m. local time. Again, we don't know the cause of this, and the Marines say that the weather conditions are going to be contributing factors. Just imagine that after the collision, you'd have these Marines floating potentially out at sea for hours and hours and hours. So this is really a race against time right now.
We have reaction from the Prime Minister, Boris Johnson. He spoke a short time ago after the UK Supreme Court called his suspension of Parliament unlawful. Let's listen.
First of all, your response to the Supreme Court ruling.
Yes, obviously this is a verdict that we will respect, and we respect the judicial process. I have to say I strongly disagree with what the justices have found. I don't think that it's right, but we will go ahead and, of course, Parliament will come back. I do think there's a good case for getting on with a Queen's speech anyway, and we'll do that. But I think the most important thing is we get on and deliver Brexit on October the 31st. And there's clearly the claimants in this case are determined to try to frustrate that and to stop that. I think it'd be very unfortunate if Parliament made that objective, which the people want delivered, more difficult. But we'll get on.